As you're inhaling and exhaling, and give yourself time to wiggle around in your seat, making any little adjustments so that you feel more comfortable. Balancing the shoulders, balancing your hips. Just giving some attention to your neck and shoulders. Gently moving your chin up and down like you were saying yes. And as you lift and lower your head a few times, feeling the chest rise, especially when you lower your chin. So you can feel almost like your head is sort of a crank that's lengthening your spine from the chest upwards, maybe even a little bit out of the hips and the lower back. And then we'll steady the yes, so we can pause in the center. Let your head tilt to the right, so your ear leans very gently over to your shoulder. And then we'll pick the head up and over to the left. So your head again leans very lightly over to that other shoulder. And softly alternating from one side to the other. And of course, you can linger on each side, taking a breath, so you feel like you can expand into that open space, right? Into that open side of your neck. And then we'll bring the head back to the center and pause a moment. And preparing for a full twist, take a nice deep breath in, settling the shoulders. And again, we'll turn to the right to start with the exhalation. It's nice and easy in the rotation. Of course, you can turn your head like you're looking over your shoulder. A little bit of the yes with your chin up and down. And pause briefly. Keep the twist. Just bring your head to the center. Let your right ear tilt toward your shoulder. And then your left ear tilt toward your other shoulder. Your left one, right? And maybe one more each way. Keeping the arms strong, your elbows a little bit bent. And when you're ready to unwind entirely, first bring your head to the center and then let go. We'll come back to the center and pause just to get our bearings. Nice full breath in when you are ready. And we'll turn to the left. And the initial rotation, the exhalation, you can look over your shoulder. Let me know if that sun is too much, Seema. Okay, I figured not, but you know, your head up and down, yes, if you haven't already gotten started. And you don't have to be as definitive as you transition to the rainbow, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. So you can let one kind of blend a little bit into the next. And of course, if you find something, you know, especially interesting, you settle your head and take a breath. And again, before you release entirely, come back to the center and then let the hands go. Shoulders balanced, hips balanced, breathing, of course. We're going to join the hands in prayer position at the heart. Feel free to close your eyes. A moment to establish any dedication or set intention. Intention a little bit more personal, dedication a little bit more universal. Keeping this in your mind, in your heart. We'll sing just one sound of Om. Nice full breath in. And a deep breath in. Let your exhalation release your hands. You can open the eyes. We're moving to our backs, but first you might straighten your legs for a moment, especially if you've been sitting a while with the legs crossed. You can give the ankles a little freedom, pointing and flexing, maybe a little side to side, those windshield wipers. And then we'll get settled onto our backs, moving softly to the floor. You can scoot your hips forward so you've got room for your head on your mat behind you, and grabbing hold of the shins or the thighs to roll back, taking the knees softly to the chest. We'll rock a little bit side to side. If it feels right for you initially to have your head to your knees, you can curl up a little bit more snuggly. But then you might return your head to the floor. And then very lightly, we'll bring the toes, the feet to the floor, releasing the legs, and taking your hands to your thighs. And you know, we've begun this way quite often. And with your hands on your thigh bones, you're going to press your palms into your thighs. And as you do so, the arms can straighten and the shoulders can kind of creep up off the floor. And as you feel that pressure in your thigh bones, see if you can press your hips into the floor. And you're going to feel the muscles in the lower back flex and a gentle arch, right? And sometimes we have to go to the extreme initially to feel it, but then see if you can just back off to about 50% so you can breathe. And then we'll release that effort, taking the elbows softly to the floor. Let the shoulders droop back to the ground, and let your head roll side to side a couple of times. Just to free the neck. Ever so subtly, you might move your chin up and down while you're turning your head side to side, and giving some influence to the upper back and shoulders. Steady your head in the center. And one more time, we're going to push the hands into the thighs. So keeping the wrists close to the hip joint, right? The closer you are to that hip joint, the more you're going to feel that sense of traction as the thighs move away from the pelvis. And again, you're going to press the hips into the ground like you're trying to do the cow pose, right? Keep your shoulders on the floor. Let the ribs pop up a little bit. And give it a nice deep breath in. And then we'll exhale, slowly back off. And from here, we're going to walk the feet together and take the knees apart. Your hands to the inner thighs initially as you snuggle the feet together. It's butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. If you need some support, you can slide your hands underneath your thighs, and your elbows can kind of press into the floor to prop up the legs with the hands. As you breathe into the abdomen, like you had a balloon in your belly button, expanding when you inhale and gently contracting when you exhale. Give some strength to your feet pressing together, both heels and toes. You can also give a little bit of strength from your buttocks, and you're going to feel a sense of what we were just doing, anchoring the hips and the lower back lifting a little bit off the ground. Just breathing gently. And now, if you're feeling very attentive here, your hands can move to the tops of your thighs, and you can press your hands into the thigh bones again, right? And again, I want to stress that it's the top of the thigh bone, right? The front of your thigh, as opposed to the inner thigh or the outer thigh. And it's just an option here. And just to breathe into the hips, and you can relax the effort to the feet, relaxing the effort to the glutes. Just give it a moment to breathe. We'll relax any effort with the arms, and using the hands to scoop up the thighs, bring the feet flat to the floor. As you bring the feet flat, separate the feet just a couple inches, setting up your bridge pose. Walk the heels in a little bit closer to your bottom. Bend your elbows so you bring your arms next to your ribs, your fingers pointing straight into the air, called robot arms. Pressing the elbows down to lift your hips, pressing into your heels, and then distributing that pressure through the whole of each foot. A little bit of strength in the glutes as you press the hips into the air. Try to keep your thighs parallel so the knees don't pop out too much. Full breath into your belly button. We're going to exhale to take the hips down nice and slowly to the floor. Once your hips touch the ground, please extend your right leg only along the floor. Take your hands flat to the ground next to your thighs, next to your hips. So your left foot is flat, your knee pointing to the ceiling. Your right ankle is flexed with that leg straight. And then we're going to raise the right leg into the air. Take a deep breath in as you lift. And then your exhalation will take you down to the ground, nice and slowly. So what I want you to feel is that you can press into your left foot as you lift your right leg again and lower it down to the ground again. And we'll just go 2 more times up and down. You can time it with your breath so that you're inhaling while you lift and you're exhaling while you lower, although it doesn't have to be. And if you can add that awareness of the anchoring to the pelvis, right, and to keep the hips solid on the floor. And just one more time, when you have your legs straight to the ceiling, we're going to bend the knee to take that right foot to the floor. Bend your elbows robot style, just very briefly, to our bridge pose. Press into the elbows, press into the feet to lift the hips. Doesn't have to be very high, right? We could focus a little bit more on the mechanics for right now. The heels underneath the knees, those shin bones nice and vertical. Any adjustments to your head, moving your chin side to side. Full breath in, and we'll take the hips down with the exhalation. Nice and gently, always with your breath, right? You don't need to stay with my voice ever. Your left leg is going to straighten to the floor, flexing the ankle, that right foot flat, your knee pointing to the ceiling. You could keep robot arms, or you can take your hands flat again, palms flat near your hips. Left leg lifting as you breathe in all the way up and exhaling on the way down. You could hover just a half an inch off the floor or tap the heel to the floor, inhaling up, exhaling down, and reminding you to keep that right foot nice and solid on the floor. So you feel a good deal of strength. Seema, are you sure that sounds not too much? All right, good. Last one, up and down. And we're going to find that leg vertical before we bend the knee. So the last thing to do is lift it, and then you're putting your left foot to the ground. Robot arms, we'll set up our bridge, heels pressing, hips lifting, adjusting for the neck. Sometimes lifting your head just a centimeter or so gives you the length you need, and then you can return your head to the floor. We can adjust the arms, straighten your arms to the ground like in corpse pose, the palms facing upwards. So the hands are just a little bit wider than your yoga mat, and the knuckles pressing down while you straighten your elbows. And check in with the feet, nice and strong, pressing into the heels, giving a little bit of strength from the buttocks. Full breath into the belly button, and your exhalation is going to take you down nice and slowly. Great. Now, please bring your right knee to your chest, grab your shin with your hands. Take your left hand near your knee, your right hand a little bit closer to your ankle. And this will come into play a little bit later, this hand position. I want you to use your arms to squeeze your right thigh to your chest. And while you're using your arms to pull in, push your shin into your hands. Now, if you can push your shin into your hands and at the same time hug your thigh to your chest, and you get a kind of a triple dynamic as you feel that strength. Give it a full breath in, and then exhale to relax the effort. Now we're opening up into a kind of happy baby. So you're going to reach your right hand up to grab your big toe, or you could grab the inner foot, the inner ankle. Some of us are going to reach from the inside of the leg to grab the back of the calf. Your left hand can move to your hip or overhead alongside your ear. And you're going to open that happy baby out to the side. And we're trying to keep the right ankle flexed. You can use your right arm or your right elbow to press down and use your right leg to push up. And just feel that strength for a moment. Your left thigh can lean open to the side. Right? You can even tick-tock your left foot a little bit to the center. And I know it's early for this, but just breathe here into the groin. And if it's really sensitive, back off. Use a little bit of strength to press your left foot to the ground. And now very slowly, we're going to return that right heel toward your hips. As you bend your knee, let go of your foot, your left hand on your right knee, your right hand to your right ankle, and just give it a little squeeze at the center. Great job. Take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, lower the right foot. Nice and carefully, we're going to switch sides directly. No bridge. We'll do the second side in a moment. Or left knee to your chest, your right hand on your left knee, your left hand by your ankle. And you're going to squeeze in. I didn't give you this cue earlier, but you could center your left knee, right? You could actually try to bring your knee closer to your sternum as you squeeze in. So the opposite of happy baby. Right? And you push your hands into your shin into your hands. And while you're pressing your hands into your shin, use the arms strong, relax the shoulders. See if you can hug in from the groin, right? Your left hip flexor squeezing your thigh to your chest at the same time. Big breath in, and then we'll relax all the effort with the exhalation, releasing to that happy baby. So you might need to lift your head to reach up and grab your big toe. Right? Grab your heel, your calf from the inside, your right hand to your right thigh or overhead by your ear. And as soon as you're ready, that left leg starts to open to the side. Your right knee might start to counterbalance, and that might feel, the utility of all of that in addition to the stretch. And feel the strength of your left arm pulling down while your left leg is pushing up. Right? So the left leg has control over its own self. Saying it that way sounds funny. Breathing in. Take it back, the left heel toward your hip to bring it in. Hands to your left shin, right hand by your knee, your left arm frees itself so it can grab your ankle. Give it a little squeeze, and then take your left foot to the floor. Bridge pose, robot style arms to start, heels pressing to lift your hips. And we're staying a little bit longer here. You can straighten your arms underneath you. Maybe link your hands together, interlacing fingers, hooking your thumbs. And of course, breathing. Check in with your shoulders. Check in with your head. Check in with your neck. One more full breath in. And your exhalation to release your hands, coming down nice and slowly. Good. Bring your right knee to your chest. Stretch your arms out wide into a T. Turn your palms flat to the floor. Your right knee to your chest is going to open up into happy baby. Float your right thigh open to the side. Your right knee toward the floor. You can go pretty far. Keep your left foot pressing. Close the happy baby. Straighten your right leg to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to lower your right leg 6 inches from the floor. And then return that right leg all the way up to the sky. Bend your knee to your chest. Open your happy baby. The left leg can counterbalance. You're going to close your happy baby. Straighten the right leg again. We're going to do this one more time through. The right leg 6 inches from the floor. You can press into your left foot. The right leg to the ceiling before you bend your knee. Trying to open it section by section. From happy baby, it opens. You can go pretty far. Check it out. Breathe into it. Close it back up. And that right leg is going to straighten before you bend your knee. Put your right foot on the ground. And your left knee to your chest. Flex your ankle. Open the happy baby. So open the knee to 90 degrees. Float your thigh to the side. Close the happy baby. Straighten your left leg to the ceiling. Lower your leg just 6 inches. Breathing in and breathing out. Happy baby. Open the groin. Feel the stretch. Right foot pressing to stabilize. It's okay if you're leaning a little bit. Just try to minimize the leaning. From your legs straight one more time through. Down to 6 inches and then back up. We'll take the knee to the chest, opening that happy baby one last time. Please don't let me rush you. If you're just now getting the pattern, right, it's wonderful that you found it. Right, that left leg coming back all the way to 90 degrees before you bend your knee and your left foot to the floor. So the arms stay in the T, just roll the hands open. You could bend your elbows a little bit, returning to your bridge pose. Dig into the heels to lift your hips. Check it out. Feel that you can find some pressure above your shoulder blades. And that's where moving your chin side to side makes such a difference. Walk the heels a little bit further underneath you and then center your left foot. Bring your right knee to your chest, straighten your leg up to 90 degrees. You're going to lower your right leg thigh level. So if you lower your right leg any lower than your left thigh, you've got to push your hips higher. Bring your right leg back up to 90 degrees. Knee to your chest, you're going to open your happy baby. Careful now. Press into your left foot. Close your happy baby, your right leg straight. And we're just going to do this one more time. Your right leg goes to thigh level. Keep the strength in your left foot. Raise the right leg up, happy baby, knee to your chest, and then open it. I know you want to do it all at once. Close the happy baby, at least I do. Your legs straight, your right foot to the floor. Ground down in the heels, a little strength in the glutes. Bring your left knee to your chest. Yes, we are going to switch directly. Left leg to 90 degrees. Your left thigh, hip height, thigh level. And then raising the left leg, first bring your knee to your chest. Open the happy baby, right? Notice the tilting. It's okay. Use those arms outstretched. Straighten your leg before you lower it to hip height. You got it. Take your leg up, knee to your chest, then open happy baby. Feel the work of the right leg. Celebrate there. Your left leg to the sky before you bend your knee. Foot flat to the floor. Both hips rising. Big breath into the bridge. And we'll exhale to take the hips back down to the ground. And knees to your chest, your head to your knees. And we'll wrap up with the arms. Give the legs a little squeeze, right? Grabbing hold of the backs of your thighs, steady the rocking. Kick the legs to the ceiling and then bend the knees quickly to rock forward. We're traveling all the way to hands and knees. So as you rock front to back, you can ride the momentum, cross your ankles and just keep on going. Sometimes a little push off with the fingers can help you. As you walk it back to all fours, we'll find our cat and cow rhythm. The inhalation to look forward, shoulder blades squeezing together, and your exhalation to scoop and round. Give the belly button a little squeeze. Passing just one more time with the basics here. The tail feathers in the air as you inhale, scooping the pelvis when you exhale. When you next have your head lifted, we're going to stretch the right leg back and up into the sky. Flexing the ankle, roll the hips open while your leg is straight. Then bend your knee, bring your right thigh toward your shoulder. You're going to close your leg, hovering just an inch off the floor before you straighten your leg. Look forward, open the hips. Keep breathing as you curl the right thigh forward. Try to bring that thigh parallel with the ground before you close it. One more time with leg. Roll the hips open, your right thigh to your shoulder. The last thing we're going to do is hold that right leg extended, and the left arm is going to reach forward. So sometimes that right hand has to move back a little bit. Your left shin can play a part, those hamstrings. Looking forward, maybe raising your arm and leg as you inhale, and we'll exhale, take everything to the ground, rounding into cat, chin to the chest. Check in with the wrists if that right wrist needs a little twirl, right? You're going to find your cow before the left leg extends. Right? Flexing your ankle. Try to be disciplined, at least with this first one. Keep your knees straight, roll the hips open. Now bend your knee. Try to level off your thigh, parallel with the floor. Close your leg, hovering just an inch before you extend your leg again. And if you can keep the most of cow pose throughout the sequence, right, throughout the cycle, that's ideal. And keep the chest open. Last one, extending, open the hips before you draw your thigh as close to your shoulder as you can. When your leg is extended, again, the right arm out front. Like you were shaking someone's hand, your thumb can point straight up. Open the chest, maybe lifting your arm and leg a little higher. Inhale. And we'll exhale to take it down, rounding into it, cat. Your next breath in, walking the hands forward, downward facing dog. Lean to the hands, get the toes tucked under. Bring the knees and the hips to the sky. Feeling your breath, pedaling the feet, and feeling that generous movement to the hips as you give that pressure to the toes, to the arches. Looking to your hands, we're going to walk it forward so you could keep the legs in motion as you tiptoe, maybe lifting the palms at some point. Just a breath in this forward bend to get the legs solid underneath you. Head and shoulders releasing, jaw relaxed. And finding the hands to the hips, we're going to stand up with a nice long spine. So opening the chest first and raising, hinging at the hips. And shoulders relaxed as you step up to the top of your mat. And we'll join the hands, prayer position at the heart. Reaching forward and up on the inhalation, you can look up, a little bit of a back bend. Circle the arms wide as you exhale, take it all the way to the ground. Your hands to your shins, just a baby lift to feel the length, but a full breath in. Exhale to lower, step your left foot, your right foot to plank. Right, so you can ride the exhalation all the way back here. Full breath in with the plank. And we'll exhale, knees and hips to the ground, setting up our first Cobra Pose. Toes pointing, elbows hug in and back as you lift your chest. Spread the fingers, press the palms. Big breath in. And we'll exhale to lower the belly button. Downward facing dog, you can lift from your knees. The hips rising all the way. Just a breath here. Building this rhythm, bless you. Your left foot, your right foot stepping all the way to the front of your mat. We'll circle the arms to stand. Full breath in to reach up. And the hands together at the heart, exhaling. Let it rest for a moment. Bless you. Hands at the heart, reaching up on the inhalation, leaning back a little. We'll exhale to take it down, fingers to the floor. Halfway, monkey. Exhale, right foot, left foot to plank. Take a moment to establish hips even with the shoulders, chest strong as you inhale. Exhale, knees and hips or one piece to the floor. Cobra Pose. Toes pointing to raise the heart. Right, shoulders from the ears, big breath in. Right, on your exhalation, all the way to your downward facing dog. Still breathing out. And just a breath here. And we're stepping the right foot and then the left foot to the front. All the way up, you can look where you're going, one foot at a time. Circle the arms when you get there, standing tall. Breathing in to lift, breathing out to close. Let it rest. Find your balance, hands together. On the way up, inhaling, you can lean back. Circle the arms, exhaling to fold. And halfway, breathing in, stepping the left foot back, warrior one. We're going to ground the heel and stand up from here, the arms overhead. You can look to the hands. And straighten your right leg. We're going to turn to the left, arms outstretched, leaning backwards, your left hand to your thigh, your right arm floating overhead. You can turn your palm to look down at the floor, and perhaps then rotate your palm to look up at the ceiling. That right hand raising the roof, you can straighten your elbow. Just careful of that shoulder. And we're going to rise up with both arms facing forward on the inhalation, and we'll fold forward, exhaling. At first, you can bend your right knee. Keep your hands on either side of that heel. And we're deliberately going to keep this stance nice and long so that left foot can stay nice and far back there. And looking forward for just a moment, take a deep breath in. Straightening your right leg as you exhale, bring your forehead to your knee. Holding for just a breath. You can lift and spread the toes on your right foot. And bending your right knee, we're stepping back into downward facing dog. That left heel lifting, the hips go high. Now you're very welcome to stay here in your downward dog breathing. Alternatively, you can move through the vinyasa cycle, plank to the floor, knees, hips to the ground, your Cobra Pose. If you're feeling upward facing dog, right, you're very welcome to go in that direction. Right? Downward facing dog, we'll meet our friends who stayed. And we'll all walk it or step it forward, left foot, right foot to the top of the mat. Just to your monkey pose here, hands to shins as you inhale, and then your right foot stepping it back, warrior one. So second side, root that heel, and we'll rise up, arms overhead. Feeling your breath to give you balance, that front knee above your heel, your right foot anchored. You can time this with your breath. Inhale your left leg straight, open to the right as you breathe out. And leaning softly, your right hand to your thigh. You can feel your pelvis shift a little bit toward the front foot. And again, that left hand could be facing the floor, or you could turn your palm to face the ceiling. And just a feather light touch on that right hand. It's beautiful, you all. Will come up strong. That right arm inhaling to carry you up and over, exhaling to fold. And you can bend that front knee just a little bit, fingertips lightly, the hands kind of tented. And again, we're maintaining the stance long. You can straighten your left leg as soon as you're ready and spreading the toes, right? Really active through the ankle and the arch. Breathing. Yeah, beautiful. One more full breath in. And we'll exhale to bend the knee and step back. Downward facing dog. And we'll stay together for this one. Shifting to your plank pose, lower your knees, and then shifting back to lower your elbows. And we're going to take the hands and join the fingers together, interlacing the fingers, and maybe walk the elbows just an inch closer on either side. Keeping the toes tucked under, we're going to lift the knees, Dolphin Pose. Your hips nice and high. And you really can bring in chair pose here. Lift the heels, bend the knees, and then it'll give you so much more freedom in the shoulders. And if you need to, or if it feels right, straighten your legs. You can walk your toes a little bit closer to your elbows if you're challenging yourself going the other direction. Please look up to your thumbs, and we'll all walk the feet backwards. We're setting up a low plank, forearm plank, core plank, the plank of many names. If you can, keep your feet together, right? So the legs are nice and close to the point where you could actually hug the heels together, right? Giving them a little bit of a squeeze. Just one more big breath in here. Relax the shoulders somewhat. We'll exhale the hips to the ground nice and softly. Walk your elbows forward and then straightening the arms out front, kind of modified Sphinx pose. So keep the chest as low as you comfortably can to the ground. Some of you might be able to straighten and flatten out completely, right? But that's a pretty rare situation. The tops of your feet pressing into the floor, and then half locust, we're going to raise the right leg. Flex your right ankle. Now, just like we did on the hands and knees, you're going to roll open on the right side. So you're leaning to your left, bend your right knee, bring your thigh toward your shoulder. Right now, we don't have the option to go down, so we got to keep it hovering, straightening the right leg back. Point your toes at the ground so you can flatten the hips, then lower your right leg. Look up to your thumbs, feel the back of your neck long, the forearms pressing while you lift your left leg. You might get a sense with your hands like they're trying to drag you forward. Roll your hips open, lean to the right. Now bend your knee, try to bring your thigh up toward your chest. If you can keep it hovering, great job. Thumbs up, we're gonna straighten the leg. Close the hips, toes point down, and then lower your leg. Just amazing, you all. Slide your hands back near your heart. We're gonna push the floor away to come up. onto the hands and knees first, just a little bit of cat and cow after that first set, right? So we'll feel this as we go back and forth, inhaling to cow and exhaling to cat. When next you're looking forward, downward facing dog, walk your hands up front, curl the toes, knees and hips to the sky. Closing our pattern, right foot, left foot to the front. However, you could walk just the same, hop just the same. We'll stand up, inhaling, lifting the heart as you reach up, and the hands to the heart as you close it down. Arms by your side, give it just a breath. And please bring your hands to your hips. We're going to take the thumbs and find that crease as we sit into Utkatasana. Just a moment here to chair pose. So you're using your thumbs to kind of mark that spot of the hip flexors right in the front of the pelvis. Elbows back, chest forward. Beautiful. Now as you stand up, the legs straight, we're going to lift the right knee. And that figure four, swing your right ankle over and across your left thigh. Your hands can stay at your hips as you sit back down, Utkatasana. If you choose to fold forward, be my guest, your fingers coming down to the floor. Good. Sit back a little bit, rock into your left heel, right? And yeah, trust yourself to use that counterbalance of the hips. That's fantastic. Now, palms to prayer position, we're going to stand up. And you can lift your knee to your chest straight away, or you could try to do it one at a time. If you're still with it, straighten your leg pressing through the heel, and we'll take it down nice and softly. Your knees bending and straightening. Yeah, good. So second side, hands at the hips. Just a second to your chair pose, right? You say, okay, that's chair. And then you come up and then your left knee is going to lift. And your ankle across your thigh. And I know that just getting here is a big deal for some of us. So, celebrate your victories. Your hips coming back, chest up, elbows back. You can sit into the heels. And then if you're going all the way forward, right, your fingers to the floor or a block or a stack of books. You can really sit back into the hips. Keep that left ankle flexed for safekeeping. Breathing for sure. A sense of cow pose, even though, the hips are fixed. Palms to prayer in front of your face. Standing up. If you can hold that figure four until you stand, great, but sometimes that knee just has to come up directly. You straighten your leg out in front of you, and we'll lower it down carefully. And find your balance, arms releasing, feet parallel. Yeah, it's warm. Knuckles to your hips, chin to your chest. Give a little squeeze to the buttocks as you bring your hips forward. We'll lean back. You can look up. You can take your head all the way back as long as you can breathe. Standing up on your inhalation, folding with your exhalation. Release the hands to slide down the legs. All right, now this is going to be a little weird, okay? Lift your right foot. And then you've got to bring your right foot in front of your left leg so you can bring it to the figure four. You're going to use your left hand, you're grabbing that ankle to place it on the top of your left thigh, right? So you're coming into the same place you were just, right? And you could say, I can't do it that way, Thomas. And I say, that's totally fine. That's what we're here to find out, right? Standing up, your hands in prayer. Knee to your chest. Again, you can do it all at once. It's totally fine. Your legs straight and then take it down. Great job. Knuckles to the pelvis, pancake style. So you might switch which hand is underneath just for symmetry. Hips forward, elbows back, shoulder blades together. You can look up. Breathe to your belly button. Rising up strong as you inhale. And we'll fold it forward, exhaling. You can bend your knees, of course, of course. And just you can prepare yourself mentally. Say, this is going to be weird. Lift your left foot. You say, okay, how do I even get my left foot in front of my right leg? That's the first task. And now I'm going to try to pick my leg up and put it on my right thigh. What the heck? It's a little bit strange sometimes when your body feels foreign like that, but it's good. It gets us out of our zone. Breathing, yeah, flex your ankle. Some of you are discovering this was more accessible, I have a feeling. Hey, palms to prayer, standing up nice and carefully. Chest open, breathing. Enjoy your wobbles. Left leg extending. Yahoo. Lower your foot. Knees bending. Great job, everybody. Yay. All right. Top of your mat, hands at your heart. We're not done yet. Reaching up, inhaling. Right, circle the arms, exhaling. Hands to shins, just halfway. And that left foot is stepping back. Warrior one. Root the heel, arms overhead. Your right leg straight, open out to the side, arms extended. Now triangle pose, we're going to look to the right hand, gliding through space, your fingers to your ankle, somewhere on your shin or on the floor by your foot. You can look to the left, you can look up at your top hand. If you bend your right knee just a tiny bit, you'll find that happy baby strength from the groin. And gosh, that's such a beautiful thing. Then we're going to circle the left arm overhead to the floor. And we're going into a twist. Keep the back foot flat at first. So your left hand goes flat, your right hand to your knee, and then twisting to reach the right arm overhead. And because that left foot is flat, you're respecting the resistance from the hips. Give it another breath. And now slow as you can, lift your left heel to track the toes forward into a runner's lunge. And as you bend your front knee, you can shimmy your left foot a little bit farther back. Oftentimes. Circle your right arm forward to the floor. Walk that right foot heel toe to the side. Put your left knee on the ground. But now as you look forward, sometimes that right foot is going to angle a couple inches out to the side. And then maybe your left elbow, maybe your right elbow walk to the floor. Maybe you've got a block underneath your elbows or a stack of books that are giving you a little bit of support so you don't have to lower quite as deeply. I want you to try to press into your right foot, right? Again, this is the same happy baby strength that we were trying to find initially on our backs, right? That you can really anchor that right heel into the floor. Now, if you're going a little bit deeper with the back foot, that left foot tucked under, you can raise your left knee, really strong through your leg, and you might glide a little bit front to back, like you were on a hovercraft. Feeling your breath, right? It's a lot of work in the arms. Check that the shoulders can relax, your jaw can relax. If you haven't yet, go ahead and settle and take your left knee down. We're going to twist from here, opening to the right, and you can reach that right hand to your knee and then reach the right arm to the sky. Opening the chest, right? Feel the strength from your left arm. It's goddess pose with purpose, right? Across from that armpit. Big breath in and exhaling your right hand to the ground. Now, very carefully, we're walking to downward dog. First, rise to your hands. That right foot is going to tick-tock to the center. Lifting the left knee, then lift the hips. You got plenty of time, and there are many ways to go about that. Just being careful with your body and feeling the difference through the hips. Again, the vinyasa is optional, but recommended, I think, in this case. Your cobra, your upward facing dog, right? So you might keep it mild, and if you were feeling like you wanted to take a rest, but then running on my recommendation there. Your left foot, your right foot to the front. You've got plenty of time to get there. Monkey pose is all halfway to feel the length. It's like a floating downward dog, and we'll slide it down, the right foot stepping to warrior one. Root the heel and the arms rising overhead. You can look to the sky. Yay, your left leg straight, open to the side. Trikonasana, the arms level and gliding a little bit further through the space. And I had mentioned happy baby here as well, right? As soon as you bend that left knee, you have a little bit more access to the muscular strength to root and engage the floor. And you're going to feel the response from the ground. I hope to your liking. And circle the right arm overhead. And we're moving to that twist. So the right hand to the ground, your left hand to your knee. Remember that back foot stays flat. The left arm reaching to the sky. So we can try to lower the left hip and bring it in a little bit to center, right? It has a tendency to drift to the left. I'm not saying it's you. I'm just saying check in with your body. That's awesome, you all. Now, slow as you can, peel off that right heel from the floor. And you might feel that you can slide a little bit more streamlined. Front knee back, forward, back heel backward. One more full breath. And we're circling the left arm forward down to the ground. Wiggle walk the left foot to the side. Put your right knee on the floor. And a little bit of cat, a little bit of cow for a second as you negotiate the space. And then you can walk the right elbow, your left elbow, maybe to the ground, maybe to a block. And if the right elbow goes, but not the left, prop them both so they can stay level. And so with the back foot tucked under, you can lift that right knee, straightening your leg. Skandasana, it's called, the lizard pose. But calling that attention to the strength of your left foot, right? That power to ground down from the groin, from that left hip. Right? And if we're very, very attentive, we can feel it from the belly, those transverse abdominis. We haven't said "k" today, but you remember. Good. Take your knee to the ground if you haven't yet. And last thing here, we're twisting. Your left hand to your thigh and then opening up. And if you find a lot of space, right, feel free to take up the space. And that right arm is strong, right? Engage the ground with your forearm, really opening up through the chest. Fantastic, you all. Throat open, lift the chin just slightly. Free the neck. And we'll take that left hand down. Good. And there's a few steps perhaps. Downward facing dog. First, come up to your hands. Walk the left foot in, right knee and hips rising. And then that left foot might be able to leave the floor a little bit more easily. Stay together here. Plank pose, lowering your knees only. Shifting back to lower your elbows. Join the hands, interlacing your fingers. Dolphin pose, crawl the elbows to a comfortable spot, lifting the knees, lifting the hips. Looking to your thumbs, walk it back. Find your low plank. We're going to play for a second here. Lower your right knee only. Bring your heel to your butt. So make sure that you're on the front of your thigh, not your kneecap. Move your hips back toward your heel. Try to do your best cat pose. And then keep your thigh pressing to the floor like you could drag it to your elbows. Your elbows could pull back to your thigh. Try to find your cow pose again. Right? Careful not to overdo it with the lumbar, right? The lower back is strong, but not tense. Try to straighten your right leg, lifting your knee without a sound. Find your hips level. Great job. Your left knee is going to go to the ground. Bring your heel to your butt. Put your butt to your heel. Push into the forearms. Try to drag your thigh forward in cat. Like you're trying to pry the abdominals open. Glide forward, moving toward cow. Keep your thigh dragging forward. Now the elbows try to pull back to your thigh. Carefully straighten your left leg, lifting your knee. Yes, both legs are going to do it. Knees to the ground, heels to your butt. Hips to your heels, cat pose. You might go to the front of your knees for just half a second and then gliding forward like you're trying to pull your elbows and your thighs together. You can crisscross your ankles if you want one more element, hug the ankles together, which is a nice way of saying push them. Right? Breathing. You can crisscross the ankles the other way if you're still with me, and I know. Hips to the ground, we're gonna take the elbows out to the side. Walk your arms forward. Now you might need to see me for this one because we don't do this often. Keep the hands connected. Walk your elbows out in front of your face. Your hands making a little canopy, and you can tuck your head underneath your palms. So you're very actively lifting your head into your hands, and your elbows are like spikes pressing into the floor, tent stakes, holding fast. Press the tops of your feet into the floor. Raise your right leg, half locust. Flex your right ankle, bend your right knee. Raise your right thigh, keep lifting your head into your hands. Straighten your right leg. Yes, you're doing it correctly. Toes pointing and lower it down. Raising the left leg while the right leg pushes. Flex your ankle, bend your knee. Keep your head lifting to your hands as you lift your thigh. Keep breathing, using the buttocks, straighten your leg, using the hamstrings, and we'll lower the left leg. Nice and carefully slide your elbows to the side. Make a little pillow with your hands underneath your forehead and just let it rest. Once again, we're going to bend both knees, but a little bit softer now. Heels toward your hips, swing your calves side to side. And in this range of motion here, you can twirl the ankles, give a little wiggle to the toes. Feel your breath into your belly. Just one more time each way. Come back to the center and lower the feet. Lifting your head to move your hands will rise up nice and strong, pressing onto all fours. Crawl it forward, downward facing dog, get the toes tucked under. Look to your hands. Right foot, left foot, stepping forward, monkey pose. Lift and hold. Keep breathing as you press your hands to your shins, your shoulders back. And now please, folding forward very carefully, you're going to lift your foot again. Your left hand onto your right knee, your right hand grabbing your ankle. Try to push your hands and your shin together. Try to hug your thigh to your chest. Stand up. You can do it. You can do it. Still standing? Great job. Keep your left hand where it is. Reach your right arm behind you. Very carefully. You can do it. Palm open to the side. Now, some of you might want to reach down and grab your big toe with your left hand, in which case you're then going to straighten that right leg out in front of you. Right? Now, of course, you don't have to go here. Raise your chest. You can do this still holding onto your knee, right? Hands to your heart, straightening your right leg. Nice and softly to extend before you lower that foot. And, enjoy the wobbles, your hands releasing, your knees bending. Knuckles to your pelvis. We got to do the second side. Chest forward, elbows back, chin up, inhaling. And we'll fold it forward, exhaling, taking your hands to the ground. Lift your left foot. Your right hand goes to your knee, your left hand at your ankle. First, push your thigh and your hands, your shin and your hands together. And then try to use the groin to hug your thigh to your chest, standing up, your right heel pushing. So focused, you all. Great job. As you stand up proudly, the right hand stays, your left arm stretching behind you. Palm open. It's a beautiful place to be. Again, celebrate. You're grabbing your big toe, just getting hold of the big toe. It doesn't have to go anywhere. Straightening your leg. Yay. Chest up, chest up. Chin up, chin up. You can do it. Even if you fall, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Bend your knee. Your hands to your heart. If you're still with it, straighten your leg and set it down carefully. Yes, arms by your side. Good. Knees bending in slow motion, straightening up and down. Good. Top of your mat. We're going to circle the arms overhead. Grab your right wrist. Take it over to the left. Stay put in the side stretch. Bend your knees to chair pose. All right, let your butt pop back a little bit. Just feel if that helps you. Come on up, straighten your legs, switch your arms. Grab your left wrist, reaching over to the right. And maybe it's this side that makes a difference. Bending your knees, just a little bit of chair pose. Keep the side stretch as you sit down. Strong in that left foot. Come on up, we're gonna do one more each way. Grab your right wrist over to the left. If you want, you can grab your elbows, right? It's gonna be a little bit more intense. Come on up. Maybe you switch your elbows. Maybe you grab your left wrist, first going to the right, and then take the squat. But yes, they kind of blend together. Good. Rising up, the arms go free, and we'll fold it forward. Fingers to the ground. Lifting your heels, we're going to squat. Take it easy, but take it. Hands to the floor. You can sit down or you can just reach and roll back and forth. Now, we are going to sit for just a moment. And as you rise up, we'll straighten the legs. Here, Paschimottanasana, lifting the arms, circling overhead. Take a deep breath in. And we'll fold on the exhalation. Hands to your feet. Head towards your knees. And of course, if it feels right, you can straighten your legs. Remember to breathe the length of your torso. Two more breaths. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Eyes can be closed. Last breath here. When you exhale, you might reach a little farther forward, rising with the inhalation. Length, length, length to the sky. We'll join the hands down to the heart, exhaling. And releasing your hands to the floor, we'll shift to our backs, knees to your chest. And we'll give the legs a little squeeze. And settle any rocking to lower your feet. And stretch your arms out wide into a T. And reaching your arms up to the ceiling, cross your right arm over your left arm and give your shoulders a hug. You can lift your head up toward your elbows for a second. Again, it might help you snuggle in. And then you can return your shoulders and your head to the ground. And if you're going to the eagle arms, let go of your shoulders and bring your palms together so the arms are intertwined. Try to keep your forearms parallel with the floor. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, move your elbows away from your chest. Think of arm bones as being vertical, right, perpendicular with the ground. Now, we're going to cross the left ankle over the right thigh, similar to that figure 4 that we did earlier. And then we're going to lift the head and shoulders, raise the right foot, and you can squeeze everything together. And you say, yeah, that was fun, but I can go a little bit further. And you're going to cross your left thigh all the way over your right thigh. And you say, that was cool too, but I can go further. I'm going to go to full eagle and hook that left foot behind my right ankle. And then try to touch your elbows and your knees together. After touching your elbows and your knees together, lower your right heel. Bring your fingertips to the floor over your head. And of course, those are just directional cues. You don't have to go to either extreme. Still breathing. Good. Unwrap the legs. And unwrap the arms. T. Your left leg straight along the floor. Tuck your right big toe underneath your left thigh. And then we're twisting. Your right leg goes across to the left. Your left hand could reach for that right thigh, helping it a little bit further on its way. Your right arm out to the side, maybe goddess pose. Press the back of your wrist into the floor. Your left hand underneath your knee, helping you to unwind. And roll it back. And bend your left knee, put your foot to the ground, arms to a T. You might rock your shoulders, rock your knees, find your center. And then the arms stretching overhead, left over right. Grab your shoulders. Lift your head and your shoulders just a moment. Squeeze in a little bit. Give yourself a little TLC. Shoulders and head to the ground. Great job. Good. Eagle arms if you're going. And your left ankle over your right thigh. Did I say it wrong? Good. Lifting your head, lifting your right foot, squeezing in. And then if you're going a little further with your legs, right thigh a little farther over the left, maybe hooking your right foot behind your left calf. Right leg over left, yeah. Elbows touching. Oh, that's hard to do. And then heels touching the floor, fingertips on the floor overhead. Or just lifting your elbows toward your chin if you're holding onto your shoulders. Feel the anchoring to your hips. Lift your fingers, lift your feet. Unwrap the legs, unwrap the arms. And your right leg is straight on the floor. Your left big toe underneath your knee. As you take the left leg over to the right, your right hand can grab that thigh. Your left arm out, goddess pose in the twist. Chest open. And again, a little bit of pressure with that left wrist might make a huge difference to the opening to the chest. And when you're ready, right hand or inhalation giving you a boost. Rolling to your back, knees to your chest. And if there's a voice calling to you with one last pose, final happy baby, final bridge pose, right? You're very welcome to go in that direction. Or if your body's saying, shoulder stand, please, or legs up the wall, please. Right? Please take those cues from your body and respond accordingly. We are heading into our relaxation in Shavasana. So of course, socks, sweatshirts, especially if you happen to get a little warm during that. It's important to stay warm, keep yourself cozy so you don't get too cool. Even though I know that's hard for some of you. Too cool. Oh gosh, bad pun, Thomas, bad pun. Bad joke, Thomas, bad joke. But hopefully it made you chuckle. And even if it was at me, We'll take that laughter and that lighthearted attitude into our resting. And I often cue you to tap into the sense of gravity. And it's a little bit different for all of us, but I like to describe it as this feeling of being both heavy and weightless at the same time. And we could emphasize that feeling of weightlessness, but it really arises once we've felt the support of grounding and allowing yourself to feel confident in your foundation. And then from there, we're able to release, we're able to let go. And of course, you can settle up here with your arms out to the side, your legs extended, heels to the corners of your mat. Or if the low back is tender, you could have your knees bent, feet flat. And just now, there's nothing that you need to do, no particular breathing pattern, no particular posture. It's easy often to feel the mind wandering and starting to make plans for the rest of the day. So I encourage you to stay with your breathing and the feeling of your body relaxing, right, as a kind of evolution of that release. Softening your jaw and your forehead. And we can experience the entire body, every cell, very much alive and very deeply relaxed. Completely at rest. allowing your body to remain still, observing the flow of your breathing, sensing your body and its place in space, from the floor and the earth to the air and the sky. Feeling yourself at home and complete throughout your body, at home and complete on this beautiful earth. Expanding your inhalations, feeling a little bit more strength with your exhalations. Visualizing that flow of your breath moving through your legs, wiggling your toes, breathing through your arms, into your hands, wiggling fingers. You can roll your head a little bit side to side. Imagine your breath moving to your hair. With bigger stretches, we can move the arms overhead, that long wake up extension. You can reach the toes and the fingers in opposite directions, yawning breaths to stretch your facial muscles. And moving gradually to bring the legs back in, giving the knees one more hug, rocking a little bit side to side. And from there, we'll make our way to sitting. You can roll to your right side into that fetal position using your arm as a pillow, or you can grab the legs rocking front to back and find your way to sitting that way. And we'll just take a moment in closing with the hands at the heart. And in recalling any dedication, any intention, perhaps something else occurred to you during the practice that you want to carry with you. Additionally, acknowledging within yourself and within one another that which is peace, that is joy, that is love, and that is light. Residing inside of this space with both the knowledge and the experience that we are one with all things. And just one sound of Om will sing. Nice full breath in. Deep breath, and to that light we bow. Namaste. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you, thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please take your time, of course. And
thanks, Thomas.
Thank you so much.
Great, Thomas. Thank you.
Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas.